Go for a ride you'll never forget in the dark side of nature. Don't breathe and don't look back. In 1969, on a farm in Oklahoma, a little girl named Jo and her family seek protection from a catastrophic F5 tornado. As the storm rages, Jo's father rushes to close the storm cellar door, but is tragically sucked into the tornado and killed. In the present day, 27 years later, meteorologists at the National Severe Storms Laboratory, NSSL, are analyzing a developing storm system over Oklahoma, which has the potential to trigger an unprecedented series of tornadoes. Meanwhile, Bill Harding, a retired storm chaser, and his fiancée, Dr. Melissa Reeves, are on their way to collect the final divorce papers from Dr. Jo Harding. Since her father's tragic death, Jo has committed herself to hunting down tornadoes, trying to save others from suffering a similar fate. Jo, who is still in love with Bill, tries to stall because she doesn't want to see their marriage end. She tells Bill she wants him back in the field because his idea for a tornado analysis tool called Dorothy has been achieved. They have built 4 functional Dorothy machines and intend to place them directly in the path of a tornado to collect data from within. The team set off after hearing about storm activity from Haynes. Bill's ambitious rival Dr. Jonas Miller arrives with his assistant Eddie to lead another team. Bill notices Jonas giving an interview to local media and finds that Jonas has stolen his design for the Dorothy and built his own version, and plans to deploy it first to get all the credit. Jonas dismisses Bill's accusations of cheating, saying it was an unrealized idea. Bill decides to stay with the group for only one day, determined to beat Jonas. As Bill's crew begins their assignment, Bill and Jo have an open chat about their relationship. Suddenly, Belzer observes a minor F1 tornado developing in a neighboring field and alerts the team. Jo and Bill try to get ahead of the tornado, but they get stranded in a ditch. Their truck then collides with a little wooden bridge, forcing them to take refuge beneath it. Despite Jo's desire to see the tornado up close, Bill intervenes just as the tornado pulls their pickup off the ground, destroying one of the 4 Dorothy prototypes. The truck lands in front of Melissa, who narrowly avoids a crash. Bill comforts Melissa, while Jo examines the damage and recovers several sensors from the debris of the wrecked Dorothy 1. Jonas's squad comes, but only after the storm has passed. Because Jo does not have her car, she convinces Bill to use his new truck to deliver the Dorothy devices. Bill, Jo, and Melissa ride together in Bill's truck. Another tornado, slightly larger F2, has formed, and both teams are rushing to catch it. Bill expects the tornado to change its direction, so his crew picks a less traveled route. However, Bill accidentally drives onto a bridge, encountering water spouts, causing the truck to spin. The team gets to their destination shortly after the incident. While Jo celebrates with the team, Melissa breaks down emotionally, questioning Bill's previous way of life. The group decides to take a break and go see Jo's aunt, Meg, in the nearby town of Waukita, for some rest and food. During their visit, Melissa learns about Bill's storm-chasing background and Jo's previous traumas. Meanwhile, Meg quietly implies to Jo that there are lingering feelings between her and Bill. On TV, there is news of an active twister, leading to the team to act. Bill and Jo ride in his pickup, with Melissa joining Dusty. They just miss colliding with Jonas's crew in their rush to move ahead. Bill and Jo face a violent F3 tornado with unpredictable movements. They race to deploy Dorothy 2, but a power pole falls, damaging the truck and destroying Dorothy 2. Jo tries to collect the scattered sensors, but Bill recognizes the tornado's recurrence and pulls her inside the vehicle as it returns. They retreat to a safe distance, where Jo jumps out of the truck and again starts collecting the sensors. But he explains that her desire to succeed with Dorothy arises from her fear of history repeating itself in her family. He also admits that he still has feelings for her. Melissa and the entire team overhear their conversation over the CB radio. The crew stays overnight in Fairview to repair their damaged vehicles. During their stay, Joe finishes the divorce paperwork. Suddenly, Dusty warns Bill about an incoming F4 tornado. Everyone runs for safety in a garage pit near a drive-in theater. The tornado wreaks devastation, damaging 2 teen vehicles and injuring several people. After the tornado has passed, the team inspect the extent of the damage. They realize that the same tornado is now heading towards Waukeeta. Bill tells Melissa that they are leaving to check on Aunt Meg. Melissa breaks up with him calmly, stating she doesn't want to compete with Bill's need to chase tornadoes, and reassures Bill that Joe needs him more. When they get to Waukeeta, they find the town destroyed, and Joe realizes there was only a little warning time provided by the town's storm sirens. Bill and Joe notice Meg's home is on the verge of collapse. They successfully rescue Meg and her dog. Before she leaves to the hospital, Meg urges Joe to succeed in her research to prevent another catastrophe like the one that struck Waukeeta. Meanwhile, NSSL predicts the formation of a potentially record-breaking F5 tornado the next day. Joe comes up with an idea to improve Dorothy's functioning after being inspired by Meg's wind vane sculptures. Bill and Joe make pinwheels out of aluminum cans and attach them to the sensors to improve the aerodynamics. As predicted, the next day brings the arrival of a massive F5 tornado stretching a mile over the countryside. Bill and Joe try to put Dorothy 3 in its path, but their efforts fall apart when the device gets tossed and destroyed by an airborne tree. With the storm coming down on them, Bill dodges wreckage amidst a fireball, barely avoiding disaster. Driving ahead of the tornado, they escape through the chaos, merely avoiding its wrath. Jonas and Eddie set out to intercept the tornado and deploy their own device. Despite Joe and Bill's warnings to change their route, Jonas disregards their advice. While Eddie's inclined to follow Bill's warning, Jonas insists on proceeding. Both crews watch in horror as the tornado lifts Jonas's vehicle into the air and hurls it to the ground, resulting in a massive explosion on contact. With the last operational Dorothy safely secured to the truck bed, Bill and Joe drive directly into the line of the tornado. They then jump out, sacrificing Bill's truck so that Dorothy 4 can successfully release its probes into the center of the tornado. However, left without their truck, Joe and Bill have to run on foot as the tornado approaches them. They seek protection inside a nearby pump house and fasten themselves on thick pipes. They witness the terrifying core of the F5 tornado passing just overhead. After the tornado is gone, the team celebrates in their accomplishment, and Joe and Bill reconcile. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.